Good morning, the most progressive chairperson of our time. My name is Mr. Romeo Ramwada. I'm the president of the South African Arts and Culture Youth Forum, and I'm actually deployed here by the MGE Consent Artist. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Good morning, Chair and the honorable members. My name is Olibila Muthelesi. I'm the Secretary General of the South African Arts Association in South Africa. I'm deployed here by the creatives. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair, diligent and compromised Chair and this committee. My name is Epta Mailula. I am the creative practitioner in the music sector with 25 years and broken record. Thank you.
Good morning to the House at large. My name is Lele Tuma Mbeshala. I am an artist from Ekabeja, and I've been deployed here by the MGE Concerned Citizens. I represent those who are Black, female, blind. And next to me is my assistant, Uvuyo Kwazi Gwaka. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Boyle Ngoma. I'm the president of SALSIF. I'm an artist and an activist and a lot of other things.
Thank you so much for everyone in this room. Is there still more?
Yeah, Chair.
Oh, my apologies.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Deputy Minister. Good morning, DG. Good morning, honorable members. My name is Unati Malunga. I'm also here on behalf of the creative industries. I'm an entertainment lawyer, a lobbyist, and an orchestral conductor. Thank you. Good morning again, everybody. Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity of having us here. We won't reintroduce ourselves. Chair, we would like to start off by stating, I think you've set the scene very nicely in the beginning. So we just want to say that these are the organizations that have endorsed our campaign. The campaign is obviously bigger than MGE. It's all about the systemic issues that we are facing as a sector. Yesterday, the Deputy Minister posed a question. She said she doesn't understand why Nigeria is the leading film market in Africa. We understand why it is, and the economies that are fastest growing in today's day and age are those that have the creative and cultural industries at the heart of their economic plans. And here in South Africa, we do not do that. Here in South Africa, our creative industries are seen as red carpet events. They are seen as just events where you can sponsor people, put your logos on. They are not seen as an ecosystem. They are not seen as industries that compete in terms of giving back to GDP in the same par as agriculture. So without a national plan, we are going to get nowhere. Without these industries being at the heart of our plans, and what's important to understand about our industries is that, Chair, the barrier of entry there is non-existent. So you can be a technical person, you can come off the street, you can learn a skill. That's the kind of employment that we can create. The multiplier effect we give to tourism, hospitality, all these other sectors that we contribute to economically. We are not, a sideshow, so to speak. So if we don't start from there, Chair, if we don't start from there, and given that this MGE is supposed to be a fund that feeds the ecosystem, it's not supposed to be another PESP, another job fund. It's supposed to be a fund that feeds the ecosystem, that develops the creative industries. The fact that we are where we are, and this is just a picture of the fact that the bubble is about to burst. This MGE, the presentation this morning was very nice, very clean, showed nothing about what the artists were going through in the background, showed nothing of the chaos that was created. Even before the MGE was published in November, we had already given input into how it could help be structured. When it was published, we gave input to say, this doesn't work. Please, can we revise, etc. Sorry, ma'am. So, I don't know if I should
proceed.
Okay.
You are doing the presentation unless
Right.
Honorable Malatani.
So this is where.
Just a
Oh,
second.
sorry, Chair.
Yes, Chairperson. I think if members can allow the presenter to present, because they keep on making a noise and it disturbs.
Oh,
Thank
my
you, Chair.
apologies, and thank you for that, Honorable Malatani. I am so deeply concentrated on the presentation and listening to the presenter. I could not hear. If there's any member, please, or anyone, please allow the practitioner unit to convey their message to this Parliament. Please proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair. So we are at the point where the bubble is bursting. We are lagging behind internationally because we're not paying enough attention to these creative industries. So as we go through the presentation, you will see what industries, what subsectors are incorporated into our industries. When you see those subsectors, think about the variety and think about the thousands of people who are working in those particular subsectors. We haven't even managed to capture all the subsectors, obviously, of the creative industries, but just a reminder of what is at stake here. Just a reminder of the people who are behind the scenes, the people who are working, the cultural entrepreneurs, the teachers, the artisans, the arts administrators, the musicians, the opera singers, the people who are disabled, who are struggling to get opportunities to work in these sectors. Please, we don't want you to lose the face of the people behind here. So we start with the books and publishing, just as a reminder. I think I'm not going to spend too much time on this because the department has gone through it. I will point out what was important for us. Again, by the time the call, you see the department's presentation started with the call in March. But the call was in November. The first call was in November. The cancelled call was in November. Cancelled. And by the time March came around, not only was the money changed, not only were the guidelines changed, but the manner of submission had also changed, as they explained, which obviously had an effect, particularly on people with disability, and you'll hear from Leletu later. So not only had people spent their last monies in the year running around, printing, getting their proposals together for that November call, but several months later in March, so the sector had not been funded the whole of 2024 because there was a chomors at the NFEF, there was a chomors at the NAC, nobody had released any funding. You release funding in November, you cancel it without consultation with the sector. The deadline and even the March call, people are still given the initial 9 months to do the work, even though the department only published the results 3 months after when they were supposed to publish. So I'm just going to pass through this. This is a timeline. I think we've been taken through it. I just want to state that all of this activity, with all the separate notifications, even at the adjudication stage, when they were adjudicating, there were notices coming out to say, oh no, we have to extend, oh no, we have to do this. I mean, the notices clearly were intended to provide clarity, but they just cause more confusion. People were running around. People were not getting answers. The chaos that was this process. And we just want to say, Chair, that, you know, the South African Cultural Observatory, which is a research institute of the department, has done research asking, why is the department even managing this thing? Why is the department administering these funds by itself? It's got two funding agencies, saying that the department doesn't have the administrative capacity to deliver this. Then the research also says that this MGE is not benefiting artists the way it was intended to. But there's been no change. There's been no change to what the research is saying. The research was several years ago, and no implementation by the DSAC. So out of 2,500 or 2,800 people, 152 projects is what we support the artists with. The approved list was published after articles appeared in the press to say, you know, there are organizations here who have been approved who are not tax compliant. All of a sudden, the list became a preliminary list. A preliminary list. You saw even in the department's presentation how many times there was compliance verification. What is the vetting process exactly? Because the people who delivered their applications manually say when they got there, the application was checked, the department would not even take the application unless all the paperwork was there. And yet people are getting rejection letters based on, oh no, you're not tax compliant. Oh no, your trading name is not the same as your registered name. Oh no, your budget is inflated. You know, vague statements. So those rejected applicants have had no opportunity to engage. They've had no opportunity to clarify. Nothing. They've had no complaints. I mean, no opportunity to put forward what their position is. The post-publication communications, also a mess. To say again, these are the people that we've approved, but you know it's a preliminary list, so we guess we don't really have a total number for you, but this is the preliminary list. Then the rejection letters. The people who got rejection letters, I think I got one the other day, just the other day, 2-3 months later. No, if the appeals, because that's what the department represented to this committee in an earlier meeting, that, oh no, there's an appeals process, people can appeal. Where was the appeals process in the guidelines, the initial guidelines, and in the revised guidelines? Why in the rejection letters are people not told of an appeals process? They're just told to apply next year. Apply next year. After a year of not getting funding, after a year of even now, and Mr. Romeo will speak to it a bit later on, the NAC has still, to this day, not released all its funding. Artists have been expected to survive for 2 years without funding. This is the second year. And then you take the opportunity, and this was a discussion I had with the DSAC beforehand. You take the opportunity to reject people on the basis of capacity building. How do you think jobs are created in this sector? Especially rural and townships. We need to go out there. We need to teach people the skills. That is how we capacitate them in order for them to also be able to stand on their 2 feet and apply for the resources. So it's all very confusing, Chair. Anyway, let's move on. So then there's the disqualification of the NPCs. And you'll see later on, one of our questions is, how many NPCs exactly had applied for projects outside the borders of South Africa? Because only those NPCs who are trading overseas need to also apply to the Department of Development, of Social Development. So the fact that NPCs were all disqualified because they weren't registered with that department, the law only says they need to do it if they conduct business overseas. So I'd like to know, of the disqualified NPCs, how many projects were going to actually be implemented outside our borders? And what happens to the other NPCs that were that were disqualified? So, honourable members, there's the DSAC spin, and then there's the sector reality. What we experienced on the ground with the sector. So I'd also like to just point out, Honourable Chair, we would like this subcommittee, Honourable Chair, to look closely at the budget that was provided by the Treasury based on the budget that was presented at Vote 37, which was the promise, because the numbers aren't adding up for us. The numbers simply aren't adding up. And we realize that it's a medium-term, expenditure framework, but still the numbers aren't adding up. You are funding 152 people. The budget of the MGE was not what was initially allocated as the NGE. We are going to leave it there. I think the point I'm trying to make is today, with the presentation from the department, it's the first time we've seen those figures like that, as clear as day. There's a lack of transparency in this department. And so getting to the root of things is really requires scrutiny. Yesterday, you were told, for example, that there was only one complaint about the NFEF Council. That is not true. So whatever information is put before you, we'd like you to please scrutinize it based on the documentation, the budget allocation from Treasury linked up to the allocations to each institution, the allocations to the MGE, how much has been allocated to the MGE, how much has been allocated to PESP. And so there's no double dipping, counting jobs for MGE, which actually belong to PESP, or all that sort of thing. We'd like you to look into it. The clusters. Let's talk about the clusters. The minister posits that he has established these clusters for sector engagement. As you would have seen from our memoranda, Chair, the minister uses established legitimate organizations and uses established mechanisms. He came to the organizations. When he invited us to the Bosporat, we were ambushed there. We were ambushed at the Bosporat. They like to say, oh no, the clusters, the sector chose their representatives. We went to a meeting, a Bosporat meeting. At that meeting, we were told, whoever is in the room, you have to choose your representatives from whoever is here. So if you had sent a junior member just to attend a meeting on your behalf, that member was now going to represent the cluster because they were in the room. When we said, hang on, we answer to people. We can't just choose amongst ourselves who's here. We answer to people. Let us go back to our constituencies so that they forward the representatives. It was fixed later on, but I'm trying to show you that it's a top-down structure. It's a minister structure. This minister came in last year. We have been here for 30 years, and we will remain, whether he moves on or not. This structure is his structure, right? And we are participating because some people are getting a barrel over the head that, oh no, you won't get funding unless you do what I do. And when we go to these meetings, we are told what is happening. We are not participating in any decision making. So let it not, please, be represented in any other way. We are the sector, we are here. And we are telling you, and we are not hiding it. We are done, we are tired of this kind of treatment. So when people say we've got these representative sectors, but we are silenced, we are shut out. You know, today you can't even go and get into the DSAC building without an appointment. They shut you out. We are shut out, we are ignored. We were ignored in November when the MGE was published. By the time this department team gave webinars in, I think it was late November, from the 8th of November when it was published, they gave webinars in that last week of November. We had already given input. It was not even considered in the webinars. We were very upset when those webinars came because we thought those webinars had taken the input into consideration. We've sent you an evidence pack of various letters that we have sent and sent and sent to the minister, sent to the department with input, but it is simply ignored. The department goes ahead and does whatever it wants under the basis that it is providing solutions for us, solutions that we have not informed at all. So let us not use the clusters as though they are forums where we go and we participate and we have our say. So I'm just going to rush through the rest because I do want to give an opportunity for some of the delegation to speak.
Yeah, please, you have yes. 11 minutes left.
All right. So these are the questions I think we have forwarded to the honourable committee members. But again, it's much bigger than just MGE. We've got problems at the NAC, we've got problems at the NFEF. And, you know, one of the weaknesses that we don't understand about this department is supposed to be championing us. We deal with DCDT, we deal with DTI, we are on our own. When DCDT fails our producers, and we have to go fight for the film rebate, which we can no longer bring in FDI into this country, you know, because of the messes there. We have to deal with the Department of Labour because our practitioners don't have labour protections. We've got to deal with the IP issue, the unfair contracts. We are left to navigate the space on us by ourselves. Where is the department? Where's the department's international relations arm? We were discussing, they want to tax, the World Trade Organization wants to tax people who trade over the internet. We had to go as the sector last week to go and represent what South Africa should stand for. Where is the department's international relations? Is that not their job? These are salaried employees who are mandated to champion the sector and take care of the sector. Why is it that we're on our own? Chair, you would have seen the minister's lack of response to the issues that we've raised in our memoranda. The minister, as usual, it's denial, it's deflection, it's blaming this organization, it's blaming that organization, never taking responsibility and accountability for anything, minimizing everything we have said to him, can never answer. So he sent us that, and because obviously the emperor has no clothes, we are here and we have escalated the issue. Because what kind of Chair, and then I move on to our questions, and there we have questions to the DSAC that we've posed, several pages, including the appeals. We have questions to the adjudication committee that we've posed, several pages. And Chair, we have questions to the subcommittee as well. That's it from me. I'm going to please just call on Ms. Bongile next to speak.
Before
Ms. Leletu.
Before the next speaker is going to speak, the questions being asked to the department.
Yes.
Did you, Ms. Malunga, receive any response?
We have not sent these questions
No.
to the department.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
not yet.
The next speaker will be
Ms. Leletu Moses.
Leto. Please proceed.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Anati. The name is Leletu Maambeshala. Moses is an alias. It's a way for me to bring a spirit into the room. I speak on behalf of artists with disabilities, but also I speak on behalf of artists in general, because we don't walk around wearing our disabilities. We want to be mainstreamed. I think the biggest issue currently is the fact that the consideration of artists with disabilities is really based on tokenism. The picture looks good when we mention artists with disabilities, but the department does not have a program that I know of that focuses on the development of artists with disabilities, giving them the power to stand and speak for themselves, to run their own projects. Nothing like that exists. Otherwise, everything else is tokenism. On the clusters, there is no cluster that speaks specifically to artists with disabilities. There again, there was an element of tokenism where it was said, just make sure that in all the 17 clusters, there is at least an artist with a disability. I don't think that's fair. I don't think also it is fair to come and say to artists, you cannot have a capacity building element in your work, but you must work with artists that we don't even develop ourselves. How are we considering those artists with disabilities as artists who must earn when they haven't been capacitated, when they haven't been brought closer to where industry is? This is rural artists, this is township artists, and this is artists with disabilities. No program exists that I know of from any department, locally, provincially, and nationally, that speaks to the development, the encouragement of, and the facilitation of programs that really say, we recognize your talent and we want you to nurture your talent, because your talent is a way for you to ensure that you can make your own living as a person who is living with a disability. Yet when we apply for projects and we say we want to go to the artists with disabilities, show them that we are here, we've made it through the cracks to be those artists that you can look up to. Let us give you the capacity to ensure that you can stand on the stage on your own. Then those projects are kicked out because they've got too much capacity building. And then we sit here with an adjudicator who says, we really tried to favor artists with disabilities. But where are these artists we're talking about? Besides those people that give me a call to say, I'm going to include you in my project because you are blind so that you can benefit and I can benefit through you. Those who cannot speak for themselves, who agree to being included on those projects, are sitting there waiting to earn 1,000 bahts from 1.8 million that has been given to an entity. So I think that's the biggest issue for artists with disabilities, is that there is nobody who's speaking on our behalf. There are projects that are big ideas, but no consultation that has taken place with people like myself. I had to fill in an application form that I could not see. I had to do it 3 ways: type it on Word, forward it on WhatsApp to somebody who can then put it on PDF filler. By the time I was finished, I had the headache of all headaches, the very headache that led me to losing my sight in the first place. And when I handed in my application and I requested, I asked them, why did you guys force us to do this, to hand in an application physically? The lady that took in my application said, your leaders said we must do a physical application. When I went back to the leaders said it was never us because the department has never spoken to us. Email after email has been written to the department pleading the case for persons with disabilities. The only change they effected was to say, okay, please submit your application forms via email. It's the same physical application form, ma'am. There is no way we could have a blind artist specifically who can't see, a dyslexic artist who can see but cannot read properly, or have a software that reads back to them or that they can speak to so that it can type effectively language that can be understood. There's no way they could have made it in this round. And still, we couldn't have made it in this round because us artists with disabilities who want to do creative projects for people just like us have been kicked out because we're building capacity. So it's a cycle that just does not end. We start off very hopeful, we end off very hopeless. Then another call comes, we start off hopeful, we end up hopeless because nothing speaks to us. The department, it seems like they make decisions today and then they hear an outcry and then they quickly say, sorry, we made a mistake. On the 7th of March, they release a press statement and they say, we are revising the application to expand the scope of the applications. And if you had already applied and it seems like you haven't received a rejection or you haven't been declined, don't worry, you don't need to apply. On the 20th of March, they release the call and they say everybody must apply. Because because the artist had said, this doesn't make sense. Why must we reapply? Why this, and that? Then they said, no, we made a mistake. They released the results. And those results, the artists question them. They say, there are companies that are deregistered here. There are companies who are security companies here. What's going on? The department says, no, wait, we made a mistake. These companies were not meant to be there. We're still vetting. This is just a preliminary list. We'll still come back and let you know what's what. We're still waiting for the final list because apparently the 152 was just a preliminary list. So we need to understand that. Lastly, when the call came out in November, there was a stream there that was for marginalized groups at a threshold of 1 million. In today's report from Mr. Tzanyane, I did not hear any reference to that stream. I don't know whether there were results that came out of that stream, because when the revised call came out, there was no mention of that specialized stream for those marginalized groups, that was women, youth, and persons with disabilities. So still, I see no intention to give life so that people can be inspired to effect change in their own lives. I see here a department that is begging us to beg them. Every time they ignore us, we are being begged to beg, to know that we don't have any other option but this option. If they can refuse something as imperative as capacity building, as a ground for declining an application, then we know there is no interest in the growth of the industry. There is no interest in the development of the artists, in the artists being able to work independently. We're talking regulating the sector. But on the other end, we're talking disempowering the artists with every action that the department does. So that's my 5 cents worth, just to say, let us have our own voice as the artists with disabilities. We deserve it.
Yeah, through you, Chair.
I've given you extra 10 minutes. Stay.
Okay. Yeah.
My apologies.
Okay.
I'm so glad, Unat, that I admire your passion, your vigor, your appetite to stand up and fight for what you believe is right to stand up and fight for. I also heard you say that you've been around for 30 years. In the 30 years, were you a beneficiary of funding?
No, I've never been a beneficiary of funding.
You've never been? All right. What was your role then for the 30 years? What did you do?
Well, I've only applied, I think, twice. So I've never applied.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying I've been shut out. I've never applied because I'm a support to the sector.
All right.
As an entertainment lawyer, I support the sector. Yeah. I don't necessarily apply for funding myself.
All right. But you understand the sector completely?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, I want to ask Unat, what qualifications do you have? Just qualifications, nothing much.
Sorry, I have a master's of law in entertainment law.
Okay, and you are also a
An orchestral conductor, pianist, and a cellist. Thank you.
Ms. Mngoma, what qualifications do you have?
BA drama at UCT, and I went on to do my honors, went on to study in Italy, France, and I have senior certificates and diplomas in the arts. I did about 9 qualifications.
Thanks. Lele, what is your qualification?
I have an LLB degree, and I'm a self-trained poet.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. No, Honorable Kovani, the minister did not respond. Instead, we were sent a letter being insulted, being called thugs and everything. So the minister continued to insult the sector. So we're not going to be disrespected here to be told that there was a response, because they keep lying to Parliament and continue to lie to Parliament. Thank you.
Why I'm asking this?
Through you, Chair.
Chair.
Through you, Chair. Sorry, Papa Penny.
Just a second, honorable member.
Okay.
Can I please explain this? So the minister never responded to the people who sent the memorandum. We were sent the response that the minister wrote to the portfolio committee, insulting, belittling, diminishing, and literally rejecting everything about the artists, not even calling them artists, but calling them the protesters. So that was not a response to the people who sent the memorandum. It was a response to the portfolio committee. So the department has never responded.
May I ask the visitors to 5 minutes?
Thank you very much, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, and thank you for honoring our request for this meeting. It has been an ongoing battle for us to be heard. And the beautiful thing about this meeting today is that we didn't need to lift a finger. The Portfolio Committee, thank you so much, each and every member, for asking pertinent questions that we've been trying to submit to the department, and they wouldn't listen to us. But today, you managed to do it for us, and we appreciate it. What I want to say today is it is very clear that from everything that has been said, there's a systemic problem that needs addressing. And there is no way you can address it by simply nitpicking MGE here, nitpicking PESPA there, nitpicking whatever it is. And what is required is a plan for a turnaround. You inherited a department from the previous system, and that department did not have enough room for everybody. So you had to make room. So instead of making room, you removed things that worked, literally throwing the baby with the bathwater out. So right now, Dr. Cynthia Kumalo, I'm going to address you directly, DG. You have now been appointed. So right now, you have a choice. It's either you take a different way of thinking. There needs to be a paradigm shift. You decide that you work with us or you don't work with us. If you work with us, we will assist you. That's one thing we've been saying for as long as I can remember. We are here to help you help us, because at the end of the day, the department is supposed to be a caretaker for the practitioners. Now, the department cannot see us as the enemy. And every time you lock that department and disallow us to speak to you, you lock yourself into a further corner that does not allow for growth, for change. So, Mina, I'm going to throw it to you and say, Sissy, this is now time to say, let's bury the hatchet and let's talk sincerely. Do you want to see a Black child grow, change, and become something better? It's on you as a Black mother.
Yeah.
So it's time to think differently. It's time to operate differently. And the beautiful thing about it is that it becomes a template for everything else that happens in that department. You need to put systems in place that actually work in your favor so that you can work in our favor. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. My last parting words just to also thank the Portfolio Committee. We really appreciate your work. Just to let you know, Chair, that thousands of artists are watching this broadcast. We'll keep sharing it, and they've been commenting a lot. For the research team, please check the online system so that it's not just us who are speaking here. So, Chair, I think for me, my problem with the department, from the Minister, Deputy Minister, and the DG, they're always lying to Parliament. So I think, Chair, Honorable Mtata raised an issue about the issue of funding that has not been released. We always watch Parliament. They came here and said they've released funding. So I am telling you, Chair, the funding at the National Arts Council has not been released. It's only one call. The PES, which is very important, because I remember this because Honorable Mtambi, Member Mtambi said that the issue of funding for artists is an economic issue, because artists cannot work without this funding. So the press of the NAC is being withheld. It has never been released. The call is not out. DG, when we are saying the funding is not out, we mean the call is not out. The press of the NAVF, the call is not out. It means artists cannot work. Thank you very much.
Just to add more. No, you are taking my meeting over now. No, it doesn't work like that. I have given an additional person opportunity to speak. Please, 1 minute.
Honorable Chair, thank you so much, and your committee. I think we really appreciate and applaud you for not entertaining, that attempt by the minister to stop us from attending this meeting. It is a fruitful meeting, and I think you got the facts. We're really thankful to the committee. You are doing a great work. For me, if I have to give an analogy or make an analogy, I would say you are like, not you are like God, the department is like Satan, and we are like the people. So then now, we need to make the Satan to repent so that he joins the people and God. You see, so that we move together, because, and we are very much thankful. Whatever method, whatever thing that needed to be done, let it be done. Because as far as I know, our minister is an arrogant one who will say, I will listen to the president. So I don't know what can you do. If there's a report that can be presented to the president about all what is revealed from here,
yeah, please wrap up.
It's too much. Yeah, thank you so much. Let's carry on the good work.
Thank you.
Life of an artist, bacho xa besipayisisa, glorifying drugs as a stage fright cure. You can try this just when you're about to grab your chance of staging. Excitement, you can't think out this industry, or should I say this killer dream, cause you will swear that from the start it was designed to kill artists. Bangakulwela when days are bright, unguthembekile. As a human being on Instagram, too much pressure, unrealistic expectations. Whoever said that is the perfect is with us, uthembekile. Singiza uthembekile. Remedies within us, ezikhwemba sibhebhekile.